I'm Todd Whitaker, and I'm excited to talk about a brand new book project called Classroom Management from the Ground Up. I had the good fortune of writing it with two of my favorite co-authors, my daughters, Madeline Good and Katherine Whitaker, and it's a book designed for all teachers to be able to improve the classroom management, the relationships in the classroom, and some other things to help them be a more effective teacher and enjoy their job more. My background, I was a teacher, taught math and business education, and I was also a basketball coach, and then I was a principal for multiple years, and then had the good fortune of working at Indiana State University in the Principal Superintendent Preparation Program, and I'm currently at the University of Missouri in the Educational Leadership Program. We wrote Classroom Management for the Ground Up with the specific purpose of being able to help teachers be more effective in managing their classroom. You know, we're all very concerned about the amount of teacher turnover there is, and it can be based on, testing demands and other things, and how sometimes teachers are under fire and just as a profession. But one of the things we do have the ability to control and influence is the better we are at managing our classroom, the more we like our job, the more satisfaction there is, the more we enjoy it. Well, I chose my co-authors because my girls and I had written a book called Your First Year for first-year teachers, and we waited till both of them had finished their first year. Well, the reason we felt that this was very appropriate for first-year teachers is because the background of my two daughters in terms of their teaching are very different. One of them taught elementary and is now at middle school. One of them taught middle school and is now at high school. They've worked in wealthy schools. They've worked in schools with lower socioeconomic clientele. But we found out there were certain things that made both of them successful, and both of them have had trials and tribulations that they shared. And that's where Your First Year came from. One of the components of the book, of course, is going to be about classroom management and how to get that started. And there was so much demand and so much positive feedback on what they had written related to the classroom management portion of Your First Year, we felt like there was a need and a desire for us to have a classroom management book. And that's where we came up with Classroom Management from the Ground Up. And it's working from K to 12, even preschool, in terms of how to get the students to do what it is we want them to do. We have three components of classroom management. We have relationships, we have expectations, and we have consistency. And what's interesting is one of the things you hear all the time is relationships, relationships, relationships. But we've learned if you don't have appropriate expectations in terms of teaching outcomes appropriate for the age level of the students, and you don't do it consistently, you can't have effective relationships. And the book is designed to help lay a groundwork, but also then, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this isn't working? What if the students do something else? In addition, we've infused tweaks and resets, which is one of the components of Your First Year that was so popular. We've infused it into each of the chapters so that you have a sense of, if this isn't going how I want, how do I alter it? What do I change? A tweak is something that you can do without having to communicate with your students. It's really just you changing your own action. And a reset is a more significant change. So we wanted to provide both of those in each of these areas, because that way you can figure which one is the thing that I most need to alter. What you do is so important, and we want to make sure you enjoy your job, and we want to make sure you maximize the student learning. And one of the components of that is making sure that the students do behave appropriately, and then how do we make sure we create that environment, and what do we do if the students choose a different task. So we sure hope that you enjoy the book Classroom Management from the Ground Up. We hope to connect with you on Twitter, and we'd love to hear your feedback and what your thoughts are.